Good morning. Thank you for joining me for this edition of Status Hearing. This is our morning movement toward silent stillness. I think there's so much to be gained from silent stillness. There's so much information in our bodies and our minds that we can learn when we listen to the body and the mind. But it's hard to still ourselves. When we get up in the morning, sometimes we're sluggish. If we try to become still in the morning, sometimes we fall asleep. This practice is an attempt to help you awaken and then use some gentle movement to find a still point and go from there. We'll start on the back today, as we typically do, with some mindful breathing. You can bend your knees or keep your legs straight. Place one hand on your belly, place one hand on your chest, and begin to breathe into your belly. As you exhale, relax your belly. Inhale, fill, exhale, relax. Do a couple repetitions of that and really feel into the movement of the body. How the breath moves the body. Take some deeper breaths now and feel the breath move into the ribs and the chest so that when you inhale, you feel your belly fill, you feel your chest expand. And when you exhale, the chest falls and the belly falls. We really do want to feel the waist get bigger, because if it never expands, we can never contract it. And now as you exhale, exhale all the way out, every last ounce of air. And when you reach the very end where you can't go any further, just make a mental connection with that feeling, because that is where your pelvic floor is now pushing up, trying to get the diaphragm to push up so that we can inhale some more. So we create a vacuum in the body when we push everything out. And it's that pelvic floor that starts nagging us. Take some more air in, take some more air in. So we do. And we exhale again, all the way out. And if you want, give it a second or two, just to feel. If you breathe all the way out, you might feel, oh, okay, this is fine. Just wait until it's time again. Your body will tell you. And you'll inhale again. Take your right hand above your head and take your left hand and grip your right wrist. Now, when we lift the hands above the head, we tend to want to arch the back. So we're going to continue to breathe mindfully, but notice now how it's a little more difficult to bring everything to the floor. When I inhale, my back really wants to lift, and that's okay. But what I'm going to do is make a gentle effort when I exhale to push my chest down to the floor and to push my ribs and my navel down toward my spine. Exhale all the way. When I let go, it just fills up again. Make a little effort here, pressing down my chest and my ribs and my spine all the way out to my pelvic floor. When you make that effort, you'll probably notice that you're beginning to press with your feet. Your feet are beginning to push your head toward the opposite wall. That helps you lengthen through your spine and open up through your core. You may notice that your neck wants to flatten out. We're going to add something on deliberately here, which is we're going to pull the hand away from the left. We're going to pull the right wrist away from the left hand, and we're going to resist with the left hand. When we inhale, we'll relax. When we exhale, pull the right hand away from the left and resist with the left. You may notice that that helps you slide your shoulders away from your ears. It helps you square off your shoulders a little bit. And it probably helps you ground your spine toward the floor so that everything can pull down a little more easily. We'll do 2 more of those. Pull on the exhalation. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull on the exhalation. Inhale, release. Bring the arms out to the sides. Walk your feet toward your hips and just gently drop your knees side to side, warming up through your hips and your waist. As you do this, see if you can tuck your tailbone toward your knees so that you can support your lower back a little more easily. And the next time your knees come back to the right, go ahead and just let them fall. So knees to the right. I'm going to bring my right arm around and grab with my left hand. I'm going to inhale, same thing, same pattern, filling the belly and the chest. As I exhale, again, I'm going to pull my right wrist away from my left hand. And then flatten the chest toward the floor and the ribs and the belly and the pelvic floor finally at the end. So inhale, relax. Exhale. Inhale, relax. The exhalation is your effort phase. One more time. Exhale, effort. And on your next inhalation, we'll go ahead and bring the knees back to the center. Relax your arms. And now bring them above your head, palms facing each other. We'll drop the arms behind, palms facing the ceiling, and just slide the arms back toward the waist. So inhale, palms together. Drop behind, palms to the ceiling, slide back. We're going to do 2 more of those. Inhale, exhale. One more time, in, and exhale. We'll bring the arms back up. I'm going to take my left wrist into my right hand and bring the hands above the head again. Take a deep breath, gently tuck my tailbone under. As I exhale, pull my left hand away from my right and resist with my right hand. Inhale, fill. Exhale, flatten the front of the body toward the back of the body and pull the hands apart, but resist with the right hand. The inhalation is passive. The exhalation, that's our effort phase. And as we exhale and pull apart, we're still dropping the chest and the ribs and the belly toward the spine. Maybe feeling yourself grounding your core into the floor a little more firmly. One last time, inhale, exhale. And release. So when we bring the arms out again to the sides, we're going to gently drop the knees side to side, just like we did last time. Keep the tailbone tucked under to support your lower back. The tailbone is reaching for the backs of your knees. So let the breath dictate how fast you're going to move. On your next exhalation, bring those knees over to the left this time. So knees over to the left. I'm going to tuck my tailbone so that my tailbone's aiming for the back of my knee. This time I'll bring my left arm around. Hang on to my left hand with my right, hang on to my left wrist with my right hand. Same idea. Inhale, release. Exhale, drop the front of the body toward the back. Try to pull the arms apart. Inhale, exhale, effort. Breathe as fast or as slowly as suits you. And just let the breath move the body. When you inhale, you can let go. When you exhale, you can make as much of an effort as you want to. One last time, in, exhale, effort. Bring the arms back to center, bring the legs back to center. Hands are going to come to the hips now, and we're going to gently rotate the head side to side. So I'm bringing my left ear to the floor, right ear to the floor, left and right. Inhale back to center. Going to drop my left ear to the floor again and just hold this. Now you may not be able to reach the ear to the floor, and that's okay. What's really key here is that as you exhale, notice you really have to put an extra effort into that right shoulder, into the right side of the waist, into the right hip, because they want to come with you, but you're not going to be able to stretch through the right side of your neck and through the right trapezius muscle unless you pin them in one place and then rotate your head. So ground on the exhalation, ground extra firmly the right side of the body, and try to relax through the left shoulder and the left neck. Inhale, relax everything. Exhale, ground the right side of the body. I'm sorry, we're contracting through the left side of the neck. That's how we twist. So inhale, exhale, ground, and contract to the left. So that's how we move to the side. One side relaxes, but it stays in place for balance. And the other side contracts. Inhale back to center. We'll just do that to the opposite side. Now, if your neck's a little stiff, allow yourself to rock your head back and forth. And then let's start the opposite side now by sliding the shoulders under the back and away from the ears. And then we'll rotate the head, this time to the right. I'm sliding the shoulders away from the ears. Rotate the head over to the right. I'm going to pin my left shoulder and my left arm in place on the floor. They stay where they are. They need to stabilize. Only my right side is going to contract. My left side stabilizes, pressing down to the floor. My right side contracts to pull the right ear toward the floor. So same thing, inhale, fill, exhale, ground. You're going to have to ground both sides, but notice you've got to ground the right side. And the left side, but the left side is stabilizing and the right side is contracting, and both are contracting, but the left side is contracting less than the right because the right is trying to do more than just stabilize. We could almost say that the left side is grounding and the right side is contracting. And inhale back to center and rock your head side to side. From here, let's go ahead and come into a seated position, a straight leg seated position. In yoga, we call this posture Dandasana. And we're going to bring the palms down to the floor with the fingers facing backwards. And as we inhale, we're going to straighten up through the spine. As we exhale, we're going to slide the arms down so that we're pressing into the backs of the hands. Lengthen through the fingers. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, slide the arms down. Press through the backs of the hands and lengthen through the fingers. So same breathing pattern. We're just in a different position physically. And now we're going to just gently rotate. When you rotate, go ahead and rotate to the right. Feel when you rotate to the right, feel your right sits bone. And then rotate to the back, feeling your rear sits bones. Rotate over to the left. Feel that sits bone on the left side. And then forward, feel the two pubic bones. So right sits bone. Go to the back. Feel the sacral spine, the tailbone. Left sits bone. Front two pubic bones. One more time. And when we come around to the front, we're inhaling. So we exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One last time. Exhale. Use your arms. And inhale and relax. We'll rotate the arms again. This time palms are still up, pressing the backs of the hands, but this time the fingers are pressing forward. As we exhale, push out through the feet and down through the backs of the hands. Inhale, just relax. Exhale. Use the belly here. And on your next inhalation, we'll gently relax again. I'm going to have you now press into the backs of your hands. Press into the palms of your hands. Come into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, opening up through the hips. We're going to rotate the hands behind so that the fingers are pointing behind. The palms are on the floor. So this should feel pretty good after that last exercise with the palms up. So as we inhale, open up the chest and belly. As we exhale, pull everything to the spine and push the feet together, working through the inner thighs. When we inhale, open up. Can you pull the feet apart? Exhale, push your hands down, push your feet together. Feel that contraction in the inner thighs. You may notice your inner thighs getting a little looser. And if they are, feel free to bring them a little bit closer. Feel free to walk your hands a little bit closer to your body. And again, inhale. Exhale, push the arms down, push the feet together. Pull the navel and the chest toward the spine. And on your next inhalation, we'll release. We're going to come into upward angle pose, further stretching through the inner thighs. So I'm going to bring the legs nice and wide here. And I'm going to straighten out the arms again. This time I'm going to push them. I'm going to straighten out the arms, palms down, fingers forward. Sorry. Inhale again. As we exhale, slide the shoulders away from the ears, pull the chest toward the spine, belly toward the spine, and push out through the legs. The legs are pushing backward, out and backward. So inhale, relax, exhale. Again, the breath is moving the body. I'm just going with wherever my breath is taking me. Sometimes it feels like, oh, I really need to push harder with my hands. And then sometimes I really want to push with my feet. And sometimes I feel it in the backs of my thighs. But as just breathing and letting the breath guide where you go and what you do. And then from here, let's go ahead and relax. You can reach for opposite ankles, or you can bring your hands behind your knees and just gently press through your thighs. Or you could even bring your hands behind to press yourself forward. And you don't need to touch your nose to the floor. All we're trying to do is feel the extension through the inner thighs. It doesn't even have to hurt. As a matter of fact, it shouldn't hurt. We're just lengthening through the inner thighs. So as we inhale, pull the legs apart. As we exhale, ground down with the backs of the calves, thighs, and gluteal muscles. Inhale, pull the legs apart. Exhale, ground down, press down, and maybe even rotate your feet backward. One last time in. Exhale, making that effort. And then inhale and release. So the goal with this movement was to loosen you up. It was to get some blood flowing, hopefully to help you feel into your body, connect with your body where you might not have been able to when you first awoke. We're going to come down now to the floor for final Shavasana. And here is where we're going to start that silent stillness. Here's where we're going to go into the body and find out what happened in the last 25 minutes while we were moving. So come down to the floor, relax your arms and legs. Just allow yourself to lie still. And I really do encourage you to lie still. And feel into your body. What do you feel? You might feel your belly. You might feel a little heat in the belly. Or maybe the backs of the legs or the calves. You might feel some vibrating or some fatigue in your neck or your shoulders. Find one spot that you can connect with. Some place where you feel vibrating or twitching or heat or fatigue, something that stands out. And just focus on that. If you tried to describe that, what would the word be? If you gave that sensation a color, what about a texture? You're probably noticing that as you focus on the sensation, it's going away. That's blood moving waste products out of that area. When we hold trauma in our bodies, anxiety, depression, disappointment, we hold those things in our bodies, and over years, the body gets blocked. This kind of movement breaks up some of that fascia that adheres to the muscles and causes our mobility to decline as we get older. This kind of movement allows, you can think about plastic wrap on a piece of chicken. It allows some blood to get in between the chicken and the plastic wrap. The most efficient way that that can happen right now after the movement that we just did is to lie still. The body will direct the blood exactly where it needs to go, unless you cause the body to force blood somewhere else. If you jump up and run out, that's okay. Know, however, that right now, less is more. We always have choices. Some may be more productive than others. Some may bring about one set of consequences. Others bring about a different set of consequences. What do you want? Most of us would say we just want happiness. I would argue that being able to still yourself is a road to greater contentment, greater freedom of choice. Ultimately, greater life satisfaction. So often we can't even say what we want, but we know what we don't want. I don't want my head shattering like this. I don't want this tight feeling in my throat, in my chest. This is how you deliver yourself from that. And once you get here, you have more choices. You could stay right here, and continue to practice and enjoy the silent stillness. You could sit up and practice silent stillness in a sitting position. But what we've done is the mindfulness. We've kept coming back again and again to whatever sensations we're feeling in the body. If we change the body, it changes the sensation. But that's not any less valid than any other kind of mindfulness practice. Mindfulness is being open and conscious of the present moment. There are a lot of ways that we can go about doing that. And this is one of them. We're about out of time for today's class. You can, again, feel free to remain here and continue practicing. If right now is not an option, go ahead and give yourself a long stretch, roll to one side, and bring yourself back to an upright position. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that this was useful for you. As I said, there are a lot of different routes to the same goal. And my hope is that this can be an effective route for a lot of people, that we can use movement to move ourselves into stillness and then to appreciate what we've built inside. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope that you'll join me tomorrow at 7 for my Saturday edition of Status Hearing. Namaste.